guys, welcome to FJX 2000 Productions and another episode of Let's FJ. Just kidding. This is going to be a brief intermission from the FJ Cruiser related content. Been busy with dental school, haven't had time to make any videos lately, but there will be more. But hopefully you enjoy this video. One of my other passions right now in life is fly fishing. And today I'm here in northern Utah and we're going to try catching some fish, specifically for the Utah Cutthroat Slam. I'm up here in the Raft River Mountains and we're going to be fishing for the Yellowstone Cutthroat Trout subspecies. This is the only place in the state where you can find Yellowstone Cutthroats. It's still dark outside, as you can see, it's barely light enough, but we are going to get all set up and hopefully if I can catch one pretty quick, then I can move on and try and catch another subspecies of cutthroat trout today. My goal is to catch all four, and if I catch this first one in a quick enough time period, we're gonna hit the road and get to the second one. And if everything goes well, we'll catch some fish, we'll have some fun, see some beautiful places, and complete the Utah Cutthroat Slam. As you guys can tell, like I said, it's still dark outside. Right here, we're right by one of the creeks here in the Raft River Mountains. The most popular places to find Yellowstone Cutthroat trout here in the Raft River Mountains is 1 Mile Creek, Johnson Creek, Basin Creek, and Wildcat Creek. And I am at one of those. But I am going to see if I can get one here really quick while it's still really early, and then I can hit the road. It is a bit cold outside this morning, but it should be a beautiful day. Once it gets a little later, it'll heat up, get up into the 80s and 90s. Well, as you can see, it's a bit brighter. Location one is pretty much a bust. Right now it's Labor Day weekend, which is pretty late in the year. Water's pretty low, and I just haven't seen anything where a fish would or could be. Last night when I arrived, because I camped out here last night when I arrived, I was checking the river with my flashlight, and I think I saw one little fish, but I checked that same pocket today and there's just nothing, and I fished anything that was fishable and kind of dapped my fly across the water and there just wasn't anything. So unfortunately that means I have quite a bit of a drive to get to the next spot where there could be a Yellowstone Cutthroat trout for the Cutthroat Slam. Fun fact, I've done the slam once before. This would be my second slam. And as part of my second slam, I wanted to catch the fish in a different body of water, in a different river. But unfortunately, it looks like I will have to probably go back to that first one if I want to even have a chance of catching a fish. Unfortunately, by the time I get there, with how popular that spot is, there'll probably be other people there, and that spot just gets hit so hard, so much pressure from other fishermen, that it is a little unfortunate because it just makes it harder to fish, but we'll try it. All right, here we are at my second destination. This is 1 Mile Creek. This is the famous place where a lot of people come, stand by the sign, and they show that little sign that the DWR and Trout Unlimited put up. This just is saying that if you're here for the Utah Cutthroat Slam, this is the right place. Then it gives some instructions. The river goes up from here and then it forks up 1 mile, the actual one, and then it also goes up Sawmill Canyon, and that's the way you want to go, is to the left, up Sawmill. That's where I caught my fish 2 weeks ago, so we're gonna try and catch another one today. You guys, I did it. I've been here for just over an hour, and we got the Yellowstone Cutthroat trout. Look at it. Holy cow. What a beautiful little fish. This is way bigger than the last one I caught when I was here last time. Oh, I'm sorry, little buddy. Let me clean it up. All right, let's get this guy back in the water. He was just in a little pocket, and we want to get him back safe and sound. So let me find some calm water. I don't even care if my foot gets wet right now. All right, here we have him. Get him back in the water, get him revived real quick. Come on, little buddy. We want to see you live. Oh. There you go. Yeah, you got to try and keep these guys in the water for as long as possible, and when you catch them, you let them go right away. Gives them the best chance of survival and not getting too deoxygenated and all that stuff. There he is. What a pretty little fish. Yeah, and this is the creek. The water is so low. It was so hard to find him. He was just in some bubbly water, and you can hardly see him right now. He's just hiding underneath the edge of the river. It's such a good place for him to hide too. All right, the time right now is 9:43. That is cutting it pretty close. But we're gonna hit the road and we're gonna try and get these other fish. That's all we needed. One Yellowstone and it's game on. Let's go. What a rush, you guys. So let me just tell you a little bit about the Utah Cutthroat Slam. Basically, the Utah Division of Wildlife and Resources and Trout Unlimited, over the past 20 years, maybe more or less, they've been working on restoring the native species of cutthroat trout in Utah. Utah has the Bonneville Cutthroat Trout, the Colorado River Cutthroat Trout, the Bear River Cutthroat Trout, and the Yellowstone Cutthroat Trout. These 4 subspecies are all native to drainages in Utah. There are a couple other species, and there's even species that are in non-native drainages. So the best thing to do is just to look at the Cutthroat Slam website, the utahcutthroatslam.org, and see the map, see the drainages, see what rivers are considered what species. So that way, if you want to do the Utah Cutthroat Slam, you can make sure you're catching the correct species. I just had looked at the map a lot, did a lot of studying, and that's how I knew to come here to the Raft River Mountains, because this is the only place you can catch Yellowstones. And I just knew which rivers were the best and which ones were the slowest. And it's going to change so much from different parts of the year, whether or not the fishing is good or bad. Like right now, it's bad. The water is so low. This is really the wrong time of year to try and do a cutthroat slam, but here we are. All right, we're finally leaving 1 mile. I made a goof. When I released the fish, I had set my sunglasses down because they fell off. And I got all the way back to the road before I realized, oh, my sunglasses are still by the creek. So I got back to the car, drove up as close as I could, and then I had to run back in and got all sweaty. So we're back on track, we're heading out, and at this point, our next goal is either the Bonneville or Bear River Cutthroat. More to come soon. So when it comes to the Yellowstone cutthroats, some of you may be wondering, how does a Yellowstone cutthroat trout end up in Utah? Well, the Raft River Mountains are part of the Raft River drainage. So all those creeks that are up there, eventually at some point in high water or whatever, would flow into the Raft River. The Raft River flows into the Snake River, and the Snake River eventually flows into Yellowstone. So that's how you have Yellowstone cutthroat trout varieties in Utah. But next we're headed to a spot where it can be considered either Bonneville or Bear River cutthroats. There are some places, and you can see this on the map on the Cutthroat Slam website, where there's been some sort of hybridization. Some places are specifically Bear River cutthroats, so you know what you're catching there is pure. Some places, same thing, pure Bonneville cutthroats. But other places, the drainages have sort of mixed and matched, and the species have sort of hybridized. They're mostly going to be Bonneville. I've heard percentages like they're considered 90% Bonneville and only about 10% Bear River. But whatever you catch in those areas, you can count towards one or the other, as long as you definitively catch one of the other varieties in an area where it's only that. So if I catch one here, but that I don't catch a Bear River and a Bear River drainage, then this one could count as my Bear River, and another one would count as my Bonneville. So we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna see if we get lucky, and if I don't catch anything there within the first you know, 30, 45 minutes, then we're gonna move on to a much better river. Here we are at the creek. If you have good detective skills, you can probably figure out where it is. But I'm gonna see if I can catch a cutthroat in this little creek. And again, if we catch one here, it could count as either Bear River or Bonneville. All right, guys, I just barely netted this thing. Another cutthroat. Holy cow, let me get a good video of it. So there you have it, folks. This Bonneville or Bear River cutthroat trout. Whichever one we don't catch later is what this one will count as, but we're gonna put him back in the water. This is a great sized fish for this creek. Wow. And just like that, we've caught another cutthroat. I had only been here for about 15, 20 minutes. It's just now the 20-minute mark. So, time to head back to the car, and we're gonna go get a Colorado River cutthroat now. The trick this time was to make sure I was still wearing my sunglasses when I left this place, so I don't have to come back. Yeah, so that was great. I just used a dry fly for that one. For the last one that I caught, the Yellowstone, it was so small and in such a tiny pocket of water, I don't think it could see over the bubbles that were there, the dry fly. So I ended up having to go ahead and use like a tiny little midge. But this time I just used a dry fly and it worked great. I just found a decent sized pocket. It drifted through, first drift through, it took it. It was awesome. But we're headed now to the car and we'll be on our journey. That Bonneville cutthroat trout we just caught is actually the Utah state fish. And at one point, even though it's like the native cutthroat, like the quintessential cutthroat of Utah, they thought it was extinct. But after looking around and doing some research, they actually found a few populations of them that are considered genetically pure. And so they're able to collect eggs and hatch them and introduce them to streams, and they've even gone through and cleared out some streams that had other species and reintroduced the Bonnevilles. And now it's been like this huge success story because you can go out and you can catch Bonnevilles very reliably nowadays. Some of the most popular places include Mill Creek Canyon or Little Dell Reservoir. Those have pure strain populations. So it's really cool to be able to get out there and catch the Utah state fish after it almost disappeared. All right, we're here in the foothills of the Uintas on a beautiful little river, and we're gonna see if we can catch our Colorado cutthroat trout. Wish me luck. Well, within 2 minutes, I caught my first fish, but it's a brook trout. We're not looking for that. Let's throw it back and see if we can find a cutthroat. A couple casts later, and we got it. Here it is. There it is. Our third cutthroat of the day, the Colorado River cutthroat trout. And let me put it in the sun. Look at that color. Holy cow. It's probably, whew, in my opinion, that's gotta be like the prettiest cutthroat here in Utah. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful fish. You see that orange underneath its chin? Wow. All right, let's put this little guy back where he belongs. Since we're running ahead of schedule, I'm gonna try and catch another one, hopefully a little bigger. And just like that, we have another Colorado River cutthroat. Not as dark and colorful as the last one, but still, what a cool fish. And just like that, gone. If you guys can see it, there's actually a beaver right there. We'll see if he comes out. He's underneath the log. Hello, beaver. He does not like that I'm here. There are actually 2 beavers. This one looks considerably bigger. If I had to guess, that's Mom. Oh, and look, there's the baby. Huh. Got ourselves another little brookie. We'll let him go. Three down, 1 to go. Time to get in the car. It's gonna be about another hour drive to the final spot. And if we're lucky, we'll finish the slam. Woo! Ended up catching 4 fish in that spot. I'm sure there's larger Colorado cutthroats in there, but that'll have to be for another day. I am now headed to a drainage of the Bear River, and we're gonna see if we can get lucky there. One of the really cool things about the Utah Cutthroat Slam is that there is a registration fee, $20, but 19 of those dollars go straight into further helping restore cutthroat trout species. So whenever they do a project where they're opening up a canal or fixing a drainage or doing restoration to a river, if it's for the cutthroat purposes, then that's the people who do this slam. It's their money going towards that. And that's such an awesome thing to have happen, or else who knows, maybe we wouldn't be able to do the slam today. Actually, I know for a fact we probably wouldn't be able to do the slam today if it wasn't for those efforts. So thank you to Trout Unlimited and to the Division of Wildlife and everything for all that they do to make this happen. But let's go get our 4th species. All right, we're here at the final river. We're gonna give it a try. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, this is our Bear River Cutthroat, and at this point, we'd be officially done. It's very unpleasant getting here. Super dusty roads, very, very washboardy, and a million people are out on their side-by-sides today. But we'll get in the river, we'll forget about all those troubles, and we'll catch a fish. Talk about a gorgeous river, am I right? So many promising spots. Well, let's give it a try. You guys, we did it. Cutthroat number 4. This is the Bear River Cutthroat Trout, which means the second one we caught is the Bonneville Cutthroat, which means we have caught the Yellowstone Cutthroat Trout, the Colorado River Cutthroat Trout, the Bonneville Cutthroat Trout, and the Bear River Cutthroat Trout. Here's that Bear River Cutthroat for you guys to look at. You can see the distinctive spots near the tail. We can see underneath the chin, they're orange. Now let's let them go. Here's our little Bear River Cutthroat. Putting him in the water. He's just about to swim away. Ooh. Oh, there. Come on, little guy. He's almost got his bearings. Oh, and he's gone. Well, we'll stick around for just a minute. We'll try and catch another one. Hopefully a little bigger, as always. But at this point, we've done it. Utah Cutthroat Slam in a day. Just to recap, we started in the Raft River Mountains this morning. First thing as the sun came up, fished and got the Yellowstone Cutthroat Trout. Then traveled, and on the way to our technical second site, we actually stopped and tried a little creek that was there and happened to catch another one. And that one counts as our Bonneville Cutthroat Trout, even though it could have counted as either Bonneville or Bear River. Then we stopped at our official second stop, but that turned into our third stop, and that's where we caught the Colorado River cutthroat. And now we're here on this beautiful river where we caught our official Bear River cutthroat trout. I might, like I said, catch another one here just to do it because it's fun. And on the way home, I might try one more creek that's specifically just Bonneville cutthroats. And that would make 5 cutthroats, different, subspecies in one day, since one of them was sort of like a hybrid. It could be either way, but we'll see. And the record for the smallest fish possible goes to me. This is a little tiny brook trout. Just caught this decent sized brookie. Looks like he wants to go back in the water. Oh, that was quick. All right, I'm up here in the Uintas. It's 6:30, so we did pretty good getting all the fish. But now we're gonna try and get a bonus, a pure Bonneville cutthroat. My uncle was here and he fished a couple weeks ago and he said he was catching them out the wazoo. So we're gonna see if I can catch some. Wish me luck. As you can tell, I've got some company. But here's the creek that we're gonna try and fish. Well, this little creek does have little fish. Little tiny brookies. This is actually the second one I caught. The first one was probably about as long as my pinky. But this little guy's cute. We'll let him go. Well, to my surprise, we caught a tiger. A little tiger. What the heck? That means besides the 4 cutthroat species that we caught, we've also caught brook trout and tiger trout. That's such a great day. Well, no luck finding cutthroats in there, but the tiger trout, that was unexpected, and I saw more in there and I just couldn't hook them up. And then there was a couple brook trout, so not an unsuccessful little detour to this creek. My curiosity got the better of me. One last creek, let's see. A little deer friend up there. Well, that last river ended up being a little too rough and the water was a little too high, which is surprising compared to most other rivers I was on today. And it didn't work out for that one, no fish there. But that's completely fine because we still got it. We still accomplished the Utah Cutthroat Slam. I never thought it could be done this time of year, but apparently it can. At least all in one day, all the species. That was nothing short of a miracle, honestly. My recommendations though, if you're gonna do the Utah Cutthroat Slam, do lots of research ahead of time, check the maps, look at what's around you and what other people are going to, and have fun. Sign up, support the cause. It's such a great thing that they're doing, restoring all these cutthroat trout habitats and making sure that they're here for the long run. But hopefully you're able to do it someday. Maybe not all in one day, because that's a bit chaotic, and I've been awake for a long time now and I've fished for a lot of that, but it's been mostly driving. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but it was fun and I'm glad I can say that I did it. But I look forward to the next time I do another cutthroat slam. I'll make sure and go to some new places, try some new rivers. I'm gonna wait till the spring for the Yellowstone for sure, because the water's just so low up there in all the different creeks and rivers. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. And one last thing before it gets too dark, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to help give advice, give recommendations for where to go to get certain fish, especially try and give you ideas that are close to where you live if you're in Utah, and good luck out there. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. To my normal viewers who are here for FJ Cruiser stuff, more will be coming soon. Don't worry, that was just a brief intermission of a little fishing trip. But we'll catch you next time. Like and subscribe if you want, but take care.